So now we are faced with the situation of over 4 million people now not able to pay their mortgages this month. What will be the outcome here? Stick around to the very end of this video so we can talk about this. Now guys, if you're seeing me here for the very first time, my name is Ian, and on this channel I talk about making money, investing, and personal finance. So be sure to give this video a thumbs up, I'll really appreciate it, and also consider subscribing to this channel and turning on notifications so you can see new videos that I post here. And guys, I post videos here every single day. So right now, nearly 10% of all the mortgages here in the US are in forbearance, right? And again, I'm not making this stuff up by any means. I never do. And here are the headlines. This is all the people that cannot, or these are all the people that cannot pay their mortgages right now. And every week the number goes up by a landslide, or a sky slide maybe, because landslides can't go up. But you guys get the point. Now, if mortgage forbearance doesn't sound familiar to you, and also if you think the mortgage forbearance that is being offered to most people now is good, then after you watch this video, go ahead and watch my other video about the very dark sides of the mortgage forbearance offers that banks are offering and how much of a bad deal they really are. I'll leave a link below to that video so you guys can check it out at the end. Now back to our pre-housing market crash or possible pre-market housing crash. Now the last time we had a housing crash or disaster, the months leading up to it, there were less people that couldn't pay their mortgages than there are right now. Again, go look it up yourself, right, if you don't believe me. So with that said, the big question is if and when are we going to see housing crash 2.0? Now you may also be saying, well, Ian, if more people can't pay their mortgages now than back then when the crisis started in 2008, why hasn't this current market crashed as yet? Well, the answer is very simple, right? We now have mass scale forbearance, or forbearances if I can say that word. Now, for this reason, the nearly 10% of people and counting that can't pay their mortgages aren't being put in default and being foreclosed on because the payments have been paused for many of them for as long as 6 months. So for that reason, the housing market remains unchanged for the most part. And if you check Zillow, houses are trending at fairly the same prices they were at around 3 months ago. So if there was no forbearance, then I would expect to see mass foreclosures and a housing crash again. Now that leads us to now wonder what will happen when the forbearance period is over, because the people will have no choice but to start paying their mortgages again. And if they still can't, then you guys know the answer, right? The foreclosures will then begin. Now, last year, over 60% of Americans were homeowners, right? Which is a big number, and that's more than half the population. And that's great. However, again, from the headlines shared in one of my last videos about how to save more money, we discussed how more than 60% of Americans also had no savings or less than $1,000 in savings rather. So again, if 60% have homes but 60% have less than $1,000 in savings, then clearly they won't be able to by any means use their savings to cover their payments in the short term, which again adds more to the risk of a housing crash or housing crash 2.0 looming right around the corner. Now guys, go ahead and drop me a comment down below and let me know what you're thinking, right? Do you think that there will be a housing crash 2.0? And if so, is it going to be this year or is it just around the corner? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this as well. Now guys, also I just want to point out here again why an emergency fund is so important, right? I mean, you have no control over this pandemic, and if you have an emergency fund, then you're very lucky at this time. We've also learned that you can't rely on the government to help you out because there are still over 10 million people that haven't received their stimulus payments and have absolutely no idea when they will. So we have to create an emergency fund, and we must save 3 to 6 months of living expenses, no questions asked, right? Not negotiable. It must be done. Now, in a forbearance, you aren't required to make the monthly mortgage payments anymore, but the interest is still rolling and adding up, and you'll have to pay all this at the end of the period. Now, as it gets closer to the end of the forbearance period, I think, and this is just my opinion, right? I could be galaxies away from what's really going to happen here, but I think that many of the people that are in forbearance, when they realize that one, they won't be able to make the payments, and two, their homes or the value of their home is still up there, then they're going to start exploring the possibilities of selling their homes, because usually a forbearance doesn't prevent the homeowner from selling the home, and the lender won't say no to getting their money, or even a newer, more qualified buyer who has the means to repay them, right? Now, even more so, I think this could very well happen, and many people could end up listing their homes for sale so as to pull the cash equity they have in it for the expenses they have or will need it for, and also to save themselves from losing everything if the situation gets really bad. I mean, what would you do? Would you sit and let your home be foreclosed? Let's say it was down to it and you had two options. Option one is to sell your home and get the equity you have in it and walk away, or two, try to hold on to it, get it foreclosed, and then lose everything. I personally would sell, grab the equity in cash, and move on, and that's if you have any. Now, with that point being made, I don't think there is a shortage or going to be a shortage of buyers if this happens, because millennials, who are the ones with the most of the money right now, have stopped partying all night, right? At least for the most part, that is. And they're now being much more responsible and trying to grow their wealth. And so you have millions of people looking to purchase homes, and we're waiting for the right time or to see the right house at the right deal late last year and even earlier this year before the flu came around. And these people will have a down payment of 20% or more for their purchase. Very good credit scores over 740, and have either a good job still or multiple income streams, and so they're going to look like statues of walking gold to banks and mortgage lenders. So the opportunity will present itself for these people if the housing market actually crashes later on this year. Again, this last point is also my opinion, and I could be wrong. And if you think so, still drop me a comment down below, because I like to hear what people think, even if it's the opposite of what my views are, right? Now, we've seen a lot of changes being made by mortgage lenders over the past few weeks, right? Some are saying that they will not be issuing any mortgages unless you have 20% for a down payment and also closing costs. Before, this was not the case, at least not on a wider scale, and also if you had poor to average credit like a 660 score or even less in some cases, you could get approved for a mortgage easily. But now we have banks that are saying, hey, unless you have a 720, which is good and above, you're going to have to either have a really good source of income and a good down payment, or else we won't be risking it lending you any money. Now, the complete opposite could happen here in two ways, right? People could get their jobs back quickly and then be able to start making their payments again, and so we wouldn't see mass foreclosures, or at least not enough to send the entire housing market nationwide into a frenzy. And then it could also be that forbearances are extended, but I don't think that's going to happen. But if it does, then people could also have more time to be able to get the money they need to avoid the foreclosures. Now guys, if you want to stay updated on the happenings as well as get tips on how to save money, make more money, invest money, and all that good stuff, remember to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification icon so you can see new videos and content from me. And I post videos here every single day on YouTube, right? Now also guys, if you really like seeing these videos and the topics I talk about, do me a favor, right? And hit that like button on this video so it can get recommended to more people. And also share this video anywhere you think it may be able to reach more people and help them out as well. Now guys, we still have that promotion at WEBULL, which will only last for another week, right? And remember, sign up with the link down below and you will get 2 free stocks after depositing $100. And these 2 free stocks can be anything that can be valid at up to over $1,000. Now, if you already did this and you collected your 2 free stocks, drop me a comment down below and let me know which stocks you got. Now, in the event that you got some stocks and you just don't like them, you can always sell them, keep the money, or use that money to buy some other stocks that you would prefer to invest in. Now, finally, again, like a broken record, I have to also mention that the days of putting your money in bank accounts where you get no interest, then you have to pay account maintenance fees, then you have to pay ATM fees, and any other fees associated with bank accounts, right? If you're still paying fees and not getting interest at your bank, then let's change that right now. So I've left a link down below. This link is to SOFI Money, and SOFI Money or SOFI offers a hybrid account where you pay no account maintenance fees. There's no minimum balance required, and you don't pay any ATM fees, and if you do, they reimburse them immediately, and you also get interest on your money. Now, with the link down below, you also get $75 for free, so be sure to check that out as well. Once again, guys, thanks for tuning into the channel. Remember to like and share this video, and also more importantly, drop me a comment down below with your thoughts on this. Until tomorrow, take care.